You said the leech then what? Collapsed.
It was so quiet until.
And now Mike
He
is
just got here, man.
They were like, no, it's the other academy.
Everybody pray.
They got everybody coming to get their ammo.
to get their ammo.
Like, I'm just kidding. What are we looking at?
All the colors together.
Right here.
Well, he's showing his back because that's
Well,
the
we were
leech
on
that
time.
covers here.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, leech then collapsed.
Go ahead, guys, follow with him. He's going to show you some more stuff.
Look at here.
Chert nodules.
Those are chert nodules. And you notice they're all in a line. And what's happening is that you have this a silica solution. Silica is the SiO2, and that's what quartz is composed of, is silica. So you have silica solution, and the source of that silica is probably a sponge spicules or maybe a radiolarian shell debris. And that silica solution is slightly acidic. And as it moves along these bedding planes within the limestone, and you see, this is a bedding plane. You see this right here, that's a bedding plane. That's where there was a little slowing in the deposition and then it picked up again. That solution is moving along that bedding plane. It will dissolve the limestone, and as it dissolves the limestone, it deposits the silica. It's called a replacement process, and it's almost on a molecular level it's taking place. Sometimes you will find that a piece of shell is along that bedding plane. It might be a clam shell or something of that nature. The solution encounters that shell and starts to dissolve the limestone around that shell, at the same time depositing the silica. That shell then becomes a nucleation center. Some chert nodules, when they slice them up, they do encounter debris which is forming the nucleus. That's a place where the silica is being deposited. The silica is microcrystalline silica, and the end result are these chert nodules. So chert is microcrystalline silica.
So all these nodules have to have something to, kind of like a pearl, it has to have something to aggregate on.
It starts the process. That's why you don't see the silica constantly being deposited.
Oh, okay.
There's something that
Something that made that, but
that
not
kicks
the
it off so that you end up with the nodule forming in that
Their
location.
formation, there's grapes in the formation, and this that we're looking at is unbleached formation, or group.
You want to stand here there and take a couple pictures?
I don't know if I'd say this one was made in the same time this one was. It could be. If it is a difference in time, it only be like a year or two. Not large.
Hello? you're seeing that you're getting solution taking place on a larger scale due to the percolation of water having mixed with carbon dioxide producing carbonic acid. So you're getting some solution. You saw that little cave down below, hidden by bushes more or less. And you can see this, and that's where the leached part of the name comes from. So the rock is leached out. The reddish material that you see there, that's clay that's being concentrated now. The red clay is within the rock. Like you can see, it's kind of reddish in places. We look at the far wall, and you notice how it's sort of a brownish and reddish. If you look at all of the quarries around the city, they're in the Edwards limestone, and you'll see that there's a reddish tint. If you leave your house for a couple of weeks and you don't use the water at all, and you come back and you notice that you get a little reddish deposit in your commode or in a sink, especially you turn the water on and it get a little reddish flush coming through first. That's the iron that's within the Edwards. So that's the leach, and you can see the chert nodules very nicely in 3 dimensions there. So the leaching produces the caves within the unit. So all of this at one time was saturated with groundwater, and that was doing the solution. Once you get the solution, you then are going to get collapse, and that's the leaching and collapse. And you can start to see, if you look at that far wall, how the units dip down. There's various collapse zones all through that. This is one of the most porous, I'm using that term, a lot of empty spaces in the rock. It has excellent permeability, so it transmits fluids. This member of the Edwards group, of the Person Formation in the Edwards group, this member is one of the better portions of the aquifer. And this is essentially underneath San Antonio, so you start to get a feel for the kind of rock that's producing the water that we drink.
So Dr. Freed, this is what the underground aquifer might look like?
Yes.
A cross section?
Yeah, and this has been cut just in the last 5 years or so, 10 years maybe. And we're still in the process of shaping it for more development going in. But this is all fresh rock. If you look at the rock along the 1604, and it's kind of dirty and grungy looking, well, it's weathering. Just a normal process. But the fresh rock is really where you get the best view of what's going on.
Yeah.
Here's some more chert nodules. And you see another layer up above there. The presence of the chert is really a diagnostic for the Edwards group. If you find chert in the rock, then you know that you're probably dealing with the Edwards.
So presence of chert means that it's probably the Edwards?
That's correct. At least in this local area.
They call that rock, is it fossil?
Sure.
Index mineral or index?
Diagnostic, but it's part of
That's okay. And you see all of the saw marks. Well, that had not been weathered enough to obscure all the saw marks. You might remember back to Hoover Point, you had these perfectly straight lines. Well, of course, that's where they were drilling. I used to tell my students at Trinity that those were fossil snake burrows. And they say, how come they're all lined up like this? And I said, well, they're gregarious. And then I had to say, well, that's true.
Then they got the hint.
They got the hit. Anyway, that's the blasting that they do at the end. Yeah, this stuff, they're sawing it. And you can see that a lot of it crumbles as they saw through it. And better cave. Greater Delta. Was the cave there before they cut the wall?
Yes.
It extended out into this area.
Can you get in there?
It's nice.
Oh, there we go, right there.
You can crawl up in there and get out of the water.
Did you get the ceiling over there?
I'm trying. He said you can
Wanna
crawl
get
up
here?
in there and get out of the
Oops, sorry.
rain.
What?
You can get up in there and get out of the rain. Who's tall?
Go ahead, Mike.
Tall.
Can you?
But Mike will climb up
I'm
there.
short. She needs your face.
Oh, cool. Look at this. Uh-uh. You can see the stalagmites and stalactites.
You can.
Yeah.
Well, get over here.
He's all over that. Okay, I'm
Oh,
touching it.
sorry. But no, it's cool. Okay, go ahead.
Getting ready.
Look in there.
That's cool.